Greetings everyone, and welcome to a special Timey-Wimey Tuesday combined update, unboxing, and closer look. Wow, you're getting a three-fer this week. This is something that I wasn't even sure we were going to get, and I had almost lost hope. I'm of course talking about the Jodie Whittaker collection, the complete Jodie Whittaker years Longbox collection. Now of course, as you guys will know, we have had Longbox collections for Doctor Number 11, Matt Smith, Doctor Number 12, Peter Capaldi. We also had one on DVD only for David Tennant, but I did not pick that one up. I ended up getting the lower cost, hold on a second, the lower cost Blu-ray collection that came out later for the slight boost in quality. But ever since getting the Matt Smith years, I've been really into getting these long boxes as they came out. So it just seemed like it was forever and a day before one was announced for the Jodie Whittaker years. I don't know why it took so long. It had taken so long, in fact, that I was this close to just finally giving up and pulling the trigger and getting all the individual Blu-ray sets, which would have definitely encroached on my increasingly limited shelf space. So I'm really glad they finally put this out. Now, I really enjoyed Jodie Whittaker's run. I just wish it had been a little bit longer, honestly, because it was the start of this annoying trend of so many modern shows now of having shorter and shorter seasons. I mean, a lot of shows now, you're lucky if you get 6 episodes, which, you know, I mean, talking British television, they've been doing 6-part miniseries forever, but it's always a miniseries. It's not like, if it's a full show, like a season, they would do, 6 episodes, and do the other 6. You wouldn't have to wait like 3 years between seasons or whatever, or series. And yeah, so I hate this trend of shorter seasons. It kind of feels like, when the classic series came back from its 18-month hiatus back in the mid-'80s, and the seasons had been cut in half. Like prior to that, we'd been getting 26 half-hour episodes a season, and then when it came back after an 18-month hiatus in 1985, the seasons have been cut down to 14 half-hour episodes, so darn near half the length. So yeah, so I don't know. Are we about to have another big rest for the show in a few years? Who knows? I guess we'll... who knows? But I guess we'll find out. So, yeah, I mean, with these shorter series all the time, it feels like we've just started to get moving, and then it's over. And then we gotta wait a year, or 2 years, or 3 years for the next series, and it's just so sad, I mean, thinking back, New Who is 20 years old this year. Yeah, well, it's not season 20, because we keep having these long breaks between series, but 20 years since Doctor Who came back to our screens. Crazy. Does not feel like it was that long ago, but at the same time it feels like it was 100 years ago. Man, a lot has changed in the past 20 years. But anyway, I miss the longer seasons where we would have a little bit more time for a season-long story arc to play out. We get a couple of, nice little filler episodes, little Monster of the Week things. Some of which are really fun, like Blink, for example, is one of the all-time great Monster of the Week episodes. I do feel they kind of beat the Weeping Angels into the ground after that, but that first episode was great. And it was essentially a filler episode. The Doctor was barely even in it, but it didn't matter. In fact, I see that episode as the one a lot of new fans say is the one they show to people who've never seen the show before. They use Blink, an episode that the Doctor, the main character, the title character, is barely even in, as the one to introduce people to Doctor Who. Why? Because it has a wonderful, scary tone to it, which is very Doctor Who. But anyway, I digress. Miss the longer seasons. That said, really enjoyed Jodie's run, but as I say, just wish it was longer. Two of my favorite modern companions, actually, Graham and Dan. What a great couple of characters. Again, wish we'd been able to spend more time with them. I also really liked the fact that it dared, and I know a lot of fans didn't like this, but it dared to definitively answer some long-standing fan questions, not the least of which was, who the heck were all those other Time Lords in Brain of Morbius when the Doctor was locked in that mind battle with Morbius and we saw all these supposed past Doctors on the screen that we'd never seen before?
On guard, Morbius.
You're going, Doctor, going. How far, Doctor? How long have you lived? Your puny mind is powerless against the strength of Morbius. Back to your beginning.
Now, one of the fan theories was that, well, maybe those were Morbius's lives, but no, the dialogue in that scene makes it pretty clear that was the Doctor's lives. Like, how many lives have you had, Doctor? You know, I mean, it's a pretty direct statement from Morbius as they're having that mind battle. So, with this, and the highly controversial and divisive Timeless Child storyline, we have an answer. Those were indeed the Doctor. And what's interesting about that is it opened up so many possibilities for additional stories, such as this wonderful compilation of stories here, Forgotten Lives, which actually gives us a collection of short stories featuring those past Doctors. Not like, you don't need like a full series of them or anything, but it's nice to have some little stories about them, you know? Now, this is not technically canonical. This was actually a book put together for a charity event, but it's really interesting to think that there's been all these previous Doctors, and how many adventures did they have? Now, of course, we met one of them in the form of Jo Martin, the so-called Renegade Doctor, and it's still open for debate as to where exactly she fits in the timeline. All we know is she predates the first Doctor. Then something happened, the Doctor's mind was wiped, and for all intents and purposes thought that it was her first, his or hers, depending which Doctor you're watching, first regeneration cycle of 13 lives. But no, there's been a few before that. So I thought the handling of the Timeless Child storyline was a little bit clunky, but I love it as a concept because it just means that much more possibilities for stories. And also having the Doctor apparently being a lot more important to the formation of the Time Lords and Time Lord history and Time Lord culture than we were previously aware, well, again, that's also a bit of a callback to a little something that the Seventh Doctor said to Davros.
Will you return the Hand of Omega or not?
Are you threatening me? If so, it is most unwise.
Every time our paths have crossed, I have defeated you.
You flatter yourself, Doctor. In the end, you are merely another Time Lord.
Oh, Davros, I am far more than just another Time Lord.
There's also another line in here where he's describing the Hand of Omega to Ace.
It was Omega who created the supernova that was the initial power source for Gallifreyan time travel experiments. He left behind him the basis on which Rassilon founded Time Lord Society. And he left behind the Hand of Omega.
His hand? What good was that?
No, not his hand, literally. No, it's called that because Time Lords have an infinite capacity for pretension.
Noticed that.
The Hand of Omega is a mythical name for Omega's remote stellar manipulator, a device used to customize stars with. And didn't we have trouble with the prototype?
We.
They.
And the.
So I love the fact, again, that in Jodie's run, Chris Chibnall dared to answer those questions and kind of call back to them. It's like, yeah, there's more going on there. But it kind of adds to the mystery, again, because she didn't look at the fob watch. So she doesn't know for sure what all went on back then. And maybe we'll find out someday, maybe we won't. But, I mean, I'm all for anything that adds more mystery to the Doctor. And I like the idea that this gave us a bunch of answers, but then also gave us a bunch of new questions that we can now debate endlessly until the end of time. Anyway, absolutely overjoyed that we finally got a Longbox set. And I even waited to open it so I could open it on camera with you guys and check out the contents for the first time with all of you fine folks. So let's check it out. Doctor Who, the complete Jodie Whittaker Years Longbox collection. Today, on a closer look on the Multimedia Chronicles. Okay, at long last we have the complete Jodie Whittaker Years Longbox collection, which for a long time we thought we weren't getting until it just appeared out of nowhere and quite reasonably priced. I think this is the most affordable of all the long boxes to date. So if we flip it around here, you may notice I have not even opened it yet. I saved it for you guys because, well, I wanted us to all check it out together. So, apparently, we have all the extras from the original Blu-ray sets. How cool is that? Plus, a couple of extras. We got creating characters with Ray Holman and creating the music of Series 12. Very cool. So, shall we crack it open and check it out? I have no idea how this looks inside. I haven't looked at any other unboxings or anything. I saved it all for this video. Just going in cold. Can we... There we go. All right. Here we go. Very nice.
Sorry. Can you grab my headphones?
So, that's the unboxing, which we cannot do a second take of because it's a one-take deal, but I have to get Rosie's headphones for her. Here we go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you know Bauhaus?
Yes, of course I know Bauhaus.
Cool.
Legendary goth band that basically defined the genre.
Yes.
Anyway, that's upside down. There it is without the saran wrap. As you can see, it looks incredibly different. Alright, now, this is what I consider an actual unboxing because we're taking it out of the box. Oh, look at that. That is pretty. Gotta love it. Oh, that's beautiful. And then on the back, oh, it's the fob watch. Yeah, if you know, you know. Alright, so let's open this up. We're going to have to go a page at a time because it just fills the whole screen. And here we go. Wow, look at the size of that. Like just big wraparound kind of thing. That's awesome. Look at that. Just beautiful. All glossy. There we go. We got 13 and Yaz sitting on top of the TARDIS. Very nice. And then we'll go over here and we'll go a page at a time. Yeah, okay, so it's configured very similarly to the other long box sets. So we'll just slide this out so you can see the discs. Very nice. And also see all of the artwork. We'll actually pull all the discs out to look at them. And then, oh yeah, it's kind of like the others. You got to give it a little bend. We got Yaz there. Very good. Slide it over here. And we got good old Graham. Love Graham. Everybody loved Graham. Graham was great. Great Graham. And then, of course, we have Ryan, Graham's adopted son. As someone who is AUDHD myself, I really appreciate the representation there of folks with learning disabilities. Thank you very much. And there we go. We got the very crystally, yellowy TARDIS. And the console right in the middle there. Very nice. I'm just going to put all these back in. Okay, and then carrying on to the next page here. There we go. I'm not going to go through all the extras because there's just so many of them, but you can get the gist from the pages here. So here we have... Alright, I'm going to assume you've all seen this, so here we have the Master, Sacha Dhawan. Great stuff. He was also terrific in An Adventure in Time and Space, where he played Waris Hussein. So we've really seen a lot of his range as an actor, going from Waris Hussein to just the absolute madman that is his rendition of the Master. And he likes a bit of Boney M. So who can complain there? Ah, the Fugitive Doctor. Yes, who now has a series of audio adventures from Big Finish, which I'm really interested to hear. Because we got to see, I really wanted to see more of her, because I really liked her sort of cantankerous character. Very, a little bit reminiscent of the first Doctor. Yeah, and so much mystery surrounding her, too. We know she's an earlier incarnation from a previous, regeneration cycle or what have you. Somewhere pretty close to William Hartnell's era, but we're not sure exactly where. The big question is, why does her TARDIS look like a police box? If she's supposed to predate William Hartnell, why does her TARDIS look like a police box? Didn't that happen because he was stuck in the junkyard for so long? Did she originally go to the junkyard and then regenerate into William Hartnell? In which case, would Susan know? Or did he pick up Susan later? I don't know. So many questions. So few answers. Big Finish to the rescue, I'm guessing, because I don't know how much we're going to see on screen. But I'd love to see her back on screen. And now we're getting some monsters. Got the Cyber... God, I really need to watch these again. Anyway, the Cyber Queen, I guess. I just remember Tim Shaw and then the broad-shouldered Flux couple. Dalek. And there we go. Check that out. Very nice panoramic artwork there. Daleks doing Dalek-y things. Alright, so let's put all these back in. And then I think we got one more, maybe two more pages. Yeah, I'm definitely going to sit down and binge my way through these again. I haven't watched them basically since they originally aired, so I'm sure aspects of it will be new to me all over again. I was saying before that it's kind of a shame how short the seasons are now, because it feels like we just kind of get started and then it's over, I want more. I want longer seasons. Give us 13-episode seasons again, please. Alright, here we go. And now, are we into the flux yet? No, we're not. Not quite yet. But yeah, we got the specials here as well, of course. Oh no, this is the flux. Yeah, it is. It says right there. And then we got Dan, good old Dan. Dan the man, loved Dan. And just as like I felt like I didn't want Graham to leave, but he left. But then we got Dan, and Dan was so good. And now, you know, he's gone. We only got him for one series, and a short series at that. So it's like, he was such a great companion. There they are. Yeah. The baddies from the Flux. I thought it was their shoulder, well, this guy in particular, just like ridiculously broad, square shoulders. The broad-shouldered couple. That's kind of how I think of them. They're quite good. I enjoyed their characterization of them. Like, genuinely, you know, a proper threatening villain. And we got the Legend of the Sea Devils. That was a great update of the design of the Sea Devils, by the way. I thought they looked fantastic. I was never, like, wowed by the redesign of the Silurians. I felt like, I love the characterization of them, don't get me wrong, and the Paternoster gang and everything, but I just felt the design itself was a little, I don't know, it was too far removed from the original, whereas this just seemed like a very kind of natural update that kind of, you know, remained true to the spirit of the original, and just looked really good, you know? And there we go. And then we got the big finale. See, and this is what I'm talking about, longer seasons. I felt like this relationship was not explored enough. They kind of like just jumped in at the end. It's like, yeah, Yaz and the Doctor kind of fancy each other, and the end. You know, like it didn't go anywhere, and then they started that too late. So I just feel like we needed more time, ironically, in this show about time travel. But, well, such is the way sometimes. And I guess, you know, it's kind of a trend now, just generally with shows, to have shorter seasons. And I don't like it. I don't like it, especially with Doctor Who, because, you know, Doctor Who, you're always left hungry for more, and you know, I want more. And that's it. Looks like that is all of the discs. And look at that wonderful collage of characters. Alan Cumming, always amazing. Look at that, just beautiful. Wow. Well, I am very pleased. I think this is an absolutely gorgeous set, and considering like how affordable it is compared to the Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi ones, even I'm not even talking about the aftermarket. I'm talking about when they first came out. They were like $100 and something. This I think was like $50, thereabouts, 50, 60 maybe. It was not expensive compared to the others, and. Beautiful, beautiful design. Very, very much in tune with the other two, which I've done other closer looks at. Maybe I'll throw links to those in the description so you can take a look at those as well. Well, there's only one thing that remains, folks, and that is to see how this lines up with the other two sets I've got on the shelf. So let's head back to the Doctor Who shelf, and we'll put this in its forever home. And there you have it. I could have sworn we just unwrapped this. Are we... Did we jump back into the past? Are we in the... Hold on a sec. How do you hold this one? There we go. Ta-da! Ah. Oops. Hold on a sec. go. Where is this? Yeah. Perfect. Wasn't there slightly fewer... Huh. I don't know. Anyway. Did she move? Is my hair longer? Well, we may have gone a little too far, but it looks like what we needed to accomplish was accomplished, so that's all that really matters. So next up, last but not least, let's see how she fits on the shelf, shall we? So, we don't need too much room, but here we go, moment of truth time. Ta-da! And the 13th Doctor has been installed. Check it out. Very nice. So, yeah, other than being a little slimmer than the previous two sets, it actually lines up pretty nicely. Other than I noticed on the Matt Smith set, they had the Blu-ray logo on the top, the BBC logo on the bottom, and then Capaldi, they switched it around and kept it that way for the Jodie set as well. But I do like how they have the number of discs in the set in the little circle there, so they kept it very consistent across the run, and then you see the individual logos for each Doctor's run there. So yeah, very nice. Actually, quite pleased with that. Yeah, that's just weird. Anyway. I guess that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Quite a nice set. Can't wait to dive in and check out her entire run again. I've only seen it the one time it originally aired, so it'll be nice to kind of sit down and just watch it all the way through without having to wait a year and a half between seasons again, you know, or series, I guess, because they still called it series. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know if, maybe we'll just let it grow for now. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, time travel is weird. Anyway, I will see you next time. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And sayonara.